What's up everyone, Sean here, and I would have never thought I got myself into this series, Devil May Cry, and it's been a long wait since the Devil May Cry 4 and DMC by Ninja Theory. Yeah, this or that one. I mean, it wasn't bad, but you know, it was just not the DMC that everyone was waiting for. But after 11 long years of waiting, fans can really rejoice now with the 5th title of the mainline series out and about with Devil May Cry 5. Now, after seeing the reveal trailer and other footage, the moment I saw Nero doing a power bomb on an enemy, I was sold. Like seriously, I actually have witnesses for that. Anyway, I was sold on getting this game, and here I am, wanting to talk about it. So, have I become a fan of the series after playing this one and having DMC5 being my first? We'll find out, but first, a little history on Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry as a franchise was ignited by former Capcom member Hideki Kamiya with Devil May Cry released on August 23, 2001 on the PS2, who later went on to found Platinum Games in 2006 along with other Capcom staff members to create games such as Metal Gear Rising and Bayonetta. The series is loosely based off of Divine Comedy, a narrative poem originated from Italy by Dante Alighieri. Over the years, Devil May Cry 2, Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening, Devil May Cry 4 on the PS3 have come to the horizon under Hideaki Itsuno's direction with mostly success. There was one Western-developed spin-off, DMC, Devil May Cry, from Ninja Theory. It even received an anime series. Its main character, Dante, has grown to become the most iconic action video game characters, having to be featured in other games such as Beautiful Joe, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, along with his brother Virgil, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Project Cross Zone or Project X Zone, Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, and so on. He was supposed to actually appear in SNK vs. Capcom SVC Chaos and Soul Calibur 3, but could not make it under unsaid circumstances. The series has become one of Capcom's most beloved franchises along with Mega Man because it exudes the definite meaning of coolness, badassery, style, and the love for pizza. All these games feature fast-paced, high-octane combat systems with the purpose of players trying to be the most stylish they can be, within their abilities of course, featuring a grade system with a stylish ranking system that usually goes up after doing varieties of moves, so you can't just do the same move over and over and over again, as much as I want to do power bombs over and over again for a combo. But you can't do that. You gotta change it up, you gotta vary it up, and the grade system can go up faster if you follow that, going from D to triple S's as the highest, and anyone can pick up the game. It's pretty easy on the surface, but it's pretty deep. It does offer a lot of depth if you want to really get into it. And once you get your knowledge on the moves, your enemies and stuff, it can be really cool to pull off these combos for I don't know, for the sake of a video. And of course, characters with attitude always help the players keep interested, especially with Dante, Nero, and V. People have been dropping mini combo videos online to show off how much they really love these games and how much time they invested into making these combo videos or just playing the game in general, whether it's on YouTube or Twitter. It has met with positive reception from fans and critics alike. So with that out of the way, now let's talk DMC5. The looks on this game is mind-blowing. They are putting that RE engine to work. You can see quite a load of fine detailing on their faces, like Nero's slight peach fuzz, even on consoles. Funny enough, the main characters have that RE7 face from, well, you guessed it. The cast looks good for the most part, including a certain character that appears later on. I gotta be honest though, I don't know how I feel about Trish's face. Something about that mug bothers me. Probably the nose or something, maybe too long. I don't know, it just doesn't suit me too well. I mean, she looks good here, but I don't know. Lady, however, she looks good. Nico comes in second in looks. I mean, she's a brand new character, so she was able to fit in that RE engine nicely, in my opinion. The level designs look great, along with character designs, the weapons, enemy designs, so on, so forth. The RE engine really brings out the gross details on the demons and the other creatures, which really brings them out more, just more fleshed out, if you will. Now, not just that. The cutscenes had great camera angles, dialogue, delivery, pacing, you name it. It's like watching a really awesome action movie. It just brought me a number of laughs just from the quirky dialogue alone. Even some of the monsters have some swearing. When it comes to the NPCs, Nico was definitely the lovable addition to the cast. She's the weaponsmith that puts pride into her inventions, especially Nero's robotic arms, or the Devil Breakers in this game, and brings the sass. It's also interesting she's the daughter of a major character who met his end in DMC4, which creates an interesting relationship off the start, and it kind of just builds up from there.
Well, he abandoned my mother and I and left us for dead. I feel nothing.
Well, he's not exactly going up for Father of the Year award now, is he?
I wish we could have seen more of Morrison, this guy.
Consider your RSVP declined.
The soundtrack is absolutely astonishing for the overall theme that it goes with. It's a great mix of electronic and metal and the occasional orchestral soundtracks. Nero's theme is hands down my favorite of all the tracks, but the music overall only adds to the already great experience DMC5 has to offer. Now the gameplay, the core that really holds this piece together. It definitely is up there as one of the best action hack and slash games of all time, if not the best, depending on how you look at it. But we can all say, I think, that the combat is just so refined. It's just so gratifying, especially once you really practice those combos and you get them really get memorized and just get a real good feel of it. It's just so satisfying when you finally land that, when you like really get that feel, especially with each character. You do, however, have to get used to the controls though. Yeah, it takes some time to get the feel of it, but you can customize it, so it's really cool. But it still takes some time to get used to, especially if you're new to the series like me. One of the newest additions that I love are the Devil Breakers, Nero's robot arms. Each of them offer a fun mechanic that's unique, makes your combos even fancier depending on your creativity. My favorite, of course, is the Buster arm. I guess it's the sole reason I wanted to get this game in the first place. I mean, how can I resist powerbombing and suplexing freaking demons in my combos? The punchline offers the fun rocket riding mechanic, and if you get the Deluxe Edition or Deluxe DLC in the PlayStation Store, you can get yourself the awesome Mega Buster from Mega Man, or the ridiculous Pasta Breaker. I guess it's loosely referencing the origin of Divine Comedy, you know, Italy. Anyway, I love Nero solely because of his Devil Breakers. I just love snatching my enemies back to me and keep the onslaught going. His sword is also fun with max exceeds and max axe or just max revs. Getting that timing down is pretty stingy, but once you even kind of master it, it's pretty satisfying. Dante, however, is a strong second, as he's the weapon master with many to choose from in his arsenal. The most memorable one for me is the Motorcycle Buzzsaw Swords Cavalier. The weapon feels so good to hold out the saws on the demons and just shred them to pieces. Dante is just pure mad fun as well. Maybe a little overwhelming for some. He is the hardest one to master, but it is pretty satisfying once you kind of get him down. V, however, I can't say the same. While his persona and concepts are interesting, using spirit companions to fight for him, the overall result doesn't ooze the same kind of fun and excitement Nero and Dante offer. You can easily land a SSS combo with this guy while going unga bunga. However, V would be a fun addition to a fighting game perhaps Capcom could develop one day. Perhaps an all-stars fighting game?
So it is written.
But with that said, they all offer their own twist on hack and slash combat, and that alone is worth the $60. Grinding for red orbs is a part of the game, so you can access to more moves for each character, and it's pretty worth the effort. There was that whole thing with the red orbs and real cash sort of thing going on in PlayStation Store. There was some backlash on it, but honestly, it's not a big deal really. Once you get that precious hat for Dante, Dr. Faust, you pretty much can forget about it. Of course, DMC5 does suffer from problems personally for me, such as the loading screens. While these aren't necessarily the slowest I've seen, but there's just so much of it. You want to go back and fix your loadout? Loading screen. You want to do this? Loading screen. You want to do that? Loading screen. I think you got my point. It's kind of annoying, but once the game really fires up, it's just all thrills and spills of blood from there. A minor complaint that I have is that the Void, which is like the training mode or training stage, doesn't really have any other options to kind of customize the look other than, you know, oh, of course you can change the enemies and stuff. But it would have been nice to have some variety with the stages other than that same little void. I know it's called the Void, but it would have been nice to have various stages that you can change around, or the backgrounds they can change around from, you know, the missions that you beat in story mode. That could have been cool, right? You know, you could make your combo videos at least kind of look different. Otherwise, they kind of all look the same. You know, you see what I'm getting? That could have been nice. Again, it's just a minor complaint, though. And at some point, you'll face a boss rush, which does feel like it's, you know, just recycling earlier elements from the story mode. So it's just there to really pad that mission, which to me feels a little cheap. And that could have been an opportunity to really, you know, flesh out the relationship between the boys, have more cool dialogue exchange, you know, kind of, you know, it could have been an opportunity for something really cool, but they decided to kind of, you know, put in some sort of boss rush and just, you know, that's a miss for me. A possible complaint for a number of people is the total length of the game, which ranges from 8 to 10 hours, which was about my time length on human difficulty, with a total of 20 main missions, which is not too long for a single player game. But for me, it was the right amount with the story and the gameplay. Dragging it out would probably hurt the game more than anything. One complaint I have for sure is the lack of switching with Nero's Devil Breakers. The game is all about making stylish combos, looking cool, having fun. So why not offer a little more freedom? You can still lose those arms if you're not careful with your enemies. Perhaps they can make him too similar with Dante since he can switch weapons on the fly as well. There was also one notable glitch I ran into during my playthrough. So you can play online with people, sort of, during certain missions. In Mission 13, if you're not quick enough or something like that, or the person's internet isn't quite as good as yours, you'll get locked out from exiting the last segment with some invisible walls. So you can't finish the mission pretty much because of this glitch, which I hope gets patched out soon for new players. Oh yeah, I already have all my arms. Or... whoa. Whoa! What the hell? What is going on? Stream over! Stream over, guys! Oh my god. We can't even go tell. What the fuck? Alright. I gotta talk spoilers to get out of my system. So for those who haven't played the game just yet, skip to the time frame or timestamp in the comment section below, or somewhere in the time frame, or not time frame, the description. I will provide that timestamp, and you just click right there and you can skip the spoiler section. But for those who don't care or already played the game, please stick around. I want to talk about some stuff. I don't know. So, V was pretty much a villain from the get-go, trying to get back to Urizen so that, once he was defeated, he can merge together by, stabbing his cane into his chest or whatever. And with that, the return of Dante's twin brother, Virgil, was really a thing. Really glad that he was able to make his triumphant return. And it was pretty cool, how that whole moment kind of happened. I thought Daniel Southworth was really cool. He was, able to reprise Virgil with flying colors, and I love how they just, they were able to fit him back into the main storyline, and I thought it was really done really well. That whole moment was just really cool. Now, I think, yeah, maybe some fans, or at least the hardcore fans anyway, saw that coming. It might have been given away right in the beginning of the game and all, but there is one thing that does answer the question. Virgil is Nero's father. When that whole thing happened, I was like,
I'm gonna let you have all the fun, Dante.
You don't get it.
Let me guess. I'm dead weight? Well, you can
That's
show
not
them.
it, Nero.
What is it then?
He's your father!
ooh, I knew it. Whoa, it's kind of like a Mario moment, right? He's like, he just comes out, he's like, Virgil, you are the father, and then, whatever reaction he had. But now, he's really the father, and dang, that was a pretty shocking moment too. At that, pretty much, those questions can go to rest. Even with Virgil back in play, the tone really maintains its over-the-top quirkiness, which is cool. The final boss fight was just really fun, with Dante and Nero getting a piece of him. And the whole sequence was just really cool. I'm really glad that Virgil is alive and well, aged, but nonetheless he's back and fleshed out more than ever, which is a great thing. The whole dynamic with with the twin brothers being rivals and stuff, it really adds up to it. Especially by the end of it, I loved it. I love how these two, really, duke it out and stuff like that. And I want to see that. I definitely want to see this relationship more in the next DMC game. Of course, the game by no means is perfect, but at the end of the day, it's such a nicely condensed, cool, stylish, fun game, tightly packaged into this disc, or I guess digital file. I don't know whether you pick it up on physical or digital. With the right amount of content, with all the playability that you want, you can get to try out higher difficulty modes, which I heard they actually really expand on the enemies with the move and stuff. So you're actually getting more out of it playing on higher difficulty settings. Maybe I'll get to that, playing Son of Sparta and then Dante Must Die eventually. But with that said, have I become a fan now? I can definitely say I'm more of a fan than ever. I understand the appeal of DMC, and I quite like it. Would I love to see more DLC to extend the game? Absolutely. I would love to see levels that solely have the online multiplayer, so you can play with like 2 other friends or something. Maybe with Dante, Nero, and V, and possibly that certain character that I kind of mentioned in the spoilers. But that idea could be something they could play with. It'd be really cool. I mean, they kind of teased it earlier in the story mode with certain parts of missions, but that again, they could really play around with that idea. Now I heard that the Bloody Palace, which is supposed to be that kind of mode, was data mined somewhere in the internet, anonymous sources. But anyway, that could be a possibility, and I would love to see more of that. Now, would I buy a DMC6 if that ever comes to fruition eventually? Absolutely. I guess so. With that, you can call me a fan of DMC now, I guess. Just don't expect for me to buy some sort of red jacket or whatever. Just, you know, I just like these games. You know, I just want to play them and all. All right, what's the score here? With the amount of positives just overrunning the negatives that I have for the game, I really had to nitpick this one to get, you know, some negatives out. But, you know, 5 being the average, of course, the MC5 from me gets a busting, stylish 9 out of 10. With that recommendation, however, I wouldn't disagree if people gave it a 10 out of 10. There's just really few things to really nitpick and complain about, in my opinion. There are some personal kinks for me that really holds it back from getting that one more point to make it a 10 out of 10. But of course, it's really still a solid recommendation for me, for all action gaming fans, or anyone who just wants to beat up enemies and stuff, especially the demons and all that fun stuff, just wailing on them with all these weapons, all these cool characters, and you can just do it with style. It is such a treat to experience, trust me. Is it Game of the Year material? I think absolutely. This entry is a well-written, well-thought-out love letter for all the DMC fans out there, with much references and nods from past games and materials. Even the anime of all things. You kind of catch that kind of around the beginning, but you'll see it somewhere in the game. I trust me. And there's so much love, so much effort being just absolutely evident in this game. I mean, they made Dante do a certain dance that, you know, even if they didn't need to do that, but they did, and it's just awesome. You know, that one dance he does, you know, after getting that hat, you know, referencing the, you know, very famous artist. But anyways, it was really cool, really awesome, and I think the wait really paid off. All those 11 years definitely paid off. They just put so much attention and detail into the game. Capcom, they've been on the roll as of late, with RE2 Remake, Monster Hunter World. Yeah, you know, commercial success. The game could be a mix for some people, but it's still a success no less. And Resident Evil 7, and now DMC5. They, you know, I think they've been on a pretty good roll, if you ask me. But now, hopefully, they can carry that momentum for fighting games. That's, you know, something they've really been known for in the past, but they've been really shaky on some fighting games, especially with, you know, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, Street Fighter 5. It's very mixed. There's a very weird specimen. And then there's Marvel's Capcom Infinite. But with the recent success of these games, hopefully they can carry that momentum to make really good fighting games again. Somehow, some way, sometime in the future. Let's wait and see. So that's pretty much it on my review on DMC5. Really love the game. Really like it. Really glad I was able to experience it myself. Had a lot of fun with it. And I hope you guys have fun with it. If you guys have any comments or any thoughts about DMC5, please leave them down below. I'd love to check them out. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. You know the drill for YouTube. Really helps out the channel. Really appreciate the support, guys. And if you guys haven't checked out the sponsorships like Loot Crate and Into the AM, please check them out in the description box below. Again, really appreciate it, guys, because it really helps out the channel. And you guys always get something back, so that's a win-win. Again, this has been my review on DMC5. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Sean out.